Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another Friday Findings video at keepsakecrafts.net. Today I have for you a terrific product that you can use in so many different ways in your crafting, jewelry making, polymer clay, and all sorts of things, and not just in the kitchen. So Glad Press and Seal is a product that came out quite a few years ago, and I never really bothered with it because it seemed just way too expensive compared to plastic wrap. But then I started seeing all the different ways it could be used in our crafting. And I finally just recently got some, and I am in love with it. It makes so many things so much easier. Now, the main reason I bought the Glad Press and Seal was because I was starting to amass a collection of polymer clay sheets, techniques, and leftover bits and pieces. And the way I had of storing them wasn't working for me. So all this is, it's one of those photo boxes that you get at the craft store for just a couple dollars. And what I have is just my polymer clay sheets, leftover bits of foiled, crackle, silk screen. Here's some Makume Gane. You might recognize this Makume Gane from a video I did not too long ago. And you might recognize this silk screening. And it goes on. I've got layers and layers. And it's so nice because you can just pick it up and handle it like this. You don't have to be gentle or ginger or worry about it. And all you need to do is tear off a piece twice as big as you need to store your pieces of clay. Put your clay sheets on one side and then fold the other side over. And it doesn't damage the clay doesn't react with it, and you can just gently peel them up and then use that in something. It's really wonderful. It keeps it clean, free of dust, and then when you're done you can just put them all back. And then I like to kind of rub in between them so it's all sealed, and there you go. You're off and running. Here's another cool trick. You can use this in the kitchen when you're cooking, but sometimes we're working on things out of books and it can be messy, and I don't know if you can tell, but this page I have covered with the sheet of the press and seal. And of course if I was working with the book open I would have covered both sheets, but you could read through it. I thought it was a great idea. Not only can you cover books, you can cover your electronics. If you're working from a laptop, you could cover the keyboard, still use the keyboard, or a tablet, or even wrap your phone up in it if you're going somewhere that's going to be maybe damp or dangerous to the phone. So I thought that was just a great idea to protect your pages. I know all of my cookbook pages have splatters. I can tell which recipes I've made by the ones that have food splatters on them. And then here's something you might not expect. This is my little velour beading mat, and this is a beading project I was working on last night. I actually finished it, but I just thought I'd leave all the beads out. And this occurred to me because I had this sitting. Oh gee, those little ones. Alright, those little ones are being a little ornery. The bigger ones come right off. But I was working on this and my cat hopped up on the table to hang out with me, and I really had to work to persuade him to perhaps not sit in the middle of the beads. And I was thinking, you know, if I had something to cover it with, and this is perfect. It actually sticks well enough to the velour sheet. I mean, I wouldn't fling it about, but if I pick it up carefully, it all stays in place. I can move it. I transported this between rooms. And then when I'm done, I can just peel it up. And you might have to scrape some of the beads off a little bit. You're not going to be losing them all, having them fall all over the place. And now that I've shown you that, I'm going to put this on. And not only will it stick to the velour, it'll stick to one of these, your bead design boards. So the same thing, if you're working in the middle of a project and you have to leave and you're afraid it might get bumped or knocked about or sat on by a cat, cover it with a sheet of the press and seal. You can also use your press and seal to protect products that are prone to drying out. If any of you have used Gilder's pastes, you know that they tend to eventually dry out, which makes me sad because I like my Gilder's pastes to be nice and creamy. So these are Gilder's pastes, and whether you have the type that you pop open, you can just put it in there and easily open it just as easily. And then this just gives it an extra seal of protection. Or if you have the type that twists open, again, it's all protected in there and it's not going to dry out. Now, I've been meaning to do this with my Gilder's paste for ages, and I finally did it last night, and preparation for this video is to cover all these with press and seal, and also because I had several that were in the process of drying out, and I've actually kind of filled those with, you can see it's all wet with mineral spirits. It'll all be nice and soft and creamy again, and notice that the mineral spirits didn't do a thing to the press and seal. It's just fine. So anything else that in the packaging it comes in is prone to drying out, you could add a layer of the press and seal to keep it fresh. And speaking of keeping things fresh, here is one of my favorite tips of all, and that is that you can save paint. Have you ever mixed paint colors? Like here I have some copper and pearl that I mixed. You can see it through here to kind of make a softer copper color. Sometimes you use just the tiniest amount and then you might need to match it again later on, maybe in a day or a couple days or whenever you get back to the project. And it's going to be tricky to match that exactly. This is paint that I squirted onto this tile 24 hours ago. And then I left the brush and the paint all in there. And here we are. Paint that was squirted out 24 hours ago. Fresh as a daisy. I think that's just a fantastic idea. My brush is still good. My brush isn't wrecked. I don't know how long this will last. If any of you test it, I would be interested in hearing. I imagine it'll last a good long while, unless maybe you go off for months without getting back to your project. I imagine it will keep it fresh for quite some time. So those are just a few ideas for using this really cool product in your crafting. If you're interested in any of the supplies I showed, click on the little eye that's in the upper right of the video or the link in the description box below the video to go to my blog post. I'll always have a complete supply list and links to some of the products. So be sure to subscribe if you like this video and you haven't already, and take a peek at my Patreon page for how you can get great rewards and help support these videos for everybody.